Okay, let's unpack this. You've heard a lot about AI, right? I mean, from the chatbots generating instant essays to self-driving cars trying to navigate our streets.
Mm.
But here's a thought. Have you ever truly wondered if these systems understand the messy, nuanced, real world the way we do?
It's a great question.
Or are they just incredibly sophisticated calculators, brilliant at crunching data, but maybe missing something
I
deeper?
think fundamentally, yeah.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into an emerging discipline called Sophimatics.
Sophimatics.
And our mission really is to give you a shortcut, a way to understand how philosophical insights are now being, well, explicitly integrated into AI design.
Moving beyond just the tech specs.
Exactly. Beyond purely technical considerations to build hopefully truly human-like cognition, we'll explore why this bridge is crucial, what it aims to achieve.
And even a new kind of job it might create.
That too. So tell us, why is this Sophimatics idea so fascinating?
Well, what's really interesting here is that Sophimatics isn't just about, tweaking existing algorithms or making AI a little bit faster.
Not just optimization.
No, not at all. It's about fundamentally rethinking the very foundations of AI. It's addressing what we call its core knowledge limitations,
Yeah.
essentially how AI knows what it knows.
Okay.
It's about enabling AI to move from simply mimicking human behavior, which is impressive in itself, to actually truly interpreting the world around it.
That sounds like a pretty big shift, a fundamental one. So where does this idea of Sophimatics even come from? What's the origin story?
Right. Well, it all starts with a fundamental challenge to how we've traditionally built AI systems.
Sure.
For decades, AI research was heavily influenced by models like the physical symbol systems. Think back to pioneers like Newell and Simon.
Right, the giant symbol manipulation.
Exactly.
Mm.
They viewed human cognition basically as abstract symbol manipulation, following a set of predefined explicit rules, almost like a very complex logic machine.
And those systems, they were successful in some areas, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely. And they are brilliant. For well-defined mathematical problems or tasks with crystal clear rules, they excel. Think chess-playing computers, for example.
Okay.
But here's where it gets really interesting for us and where Sophimatics comes in.
Mm.
They consistently struggle in real-world cognitive scenarios.
The messy stuff.
The messy stuff. Imagine an AI trying to understand a subtle joke or picking up on the true intent behind a sarcastic comment.
Yeah, that requires reading between the lines.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's a real-world human interaction where static, pre-programmed rules just, well, they fall apart. They don't capture the nuances.
So when you say static rules fall apart, can you give us a really concrete example? What does it look like when traditional AI misses the human touch?
Sure. Let's take language understanding. That's a classic one. Traditional systems often fail with ambiguous inputs. Why? Because they lack a mechanism for dynamically reinterpreting things or reformulating categories on the fly.
Okay, like the word bank.
Exactly. Perfect example. Is it a riverbank or a financial institution? We humans instantly use context, tone, the whole conversation to figure it out, almost without thinking.
Right.
But traditional AI, as researchers like Sloman pointed out way back, and Vernon and Furlong more recently, really struggled because it couldn't continuously reevaluate its understanding as the context shifted.
He's kind of stuck with its initial interpretation.
Pretty much. Sophimatics, in contrast, aims to build systems that have a continuous evolving process of sense-making. They need to constantly adapt to changing environments and intentions.
So essentially, current AI often misses that human ability to adapt and reinterpret in a world that's, well, dynamic and often ambiguous.
That's a good way to put it.
But it's not just about what AI can't do, is it? It's also about what AI is revealing about our own understanding of knowledge itself, sort of a two-way street.
Very much so, yeah.
I was reading Yuso Eddie Rachmad from 2016, who made this fascinating argument that AI actually challenges our classical theories of knowledge.
It really does. Our traditional ideas about knowledge, the philosophical field of epistemology, often revolve around concepts like belief, justification, and truth.
The classic definition.
Right. And these concepts tend to presuppose a certain level of certainty, or at least clarity. But AI, particularly things like machine learning and neural networks, operates constantly in contexts filled with uncertainty, vagueness, probability.
Things aren't always black and white for an AI.
Far from it. And while these systems might resemble human processes in some ways pattern recognition, learning from data, they often fall short of what we'd call true interpretive and evaluative processes. Rachmad suggests this actually shows that the philosophical reflection behind human reason goes beyond a purely technical dimension. There's something more.
Okay, so if our classical theories of knowledge, which are sort of built on certainty, aren't quite suitable for the fuzzy, uncertain world of AI, what does that mean for how we build these systems?
Well, it raises a really important question, doesn't it? If we want AI to truly know things, not just process data or find correlations, then we absolutely need a bridge between technology and philosophy.
We need them talking to each other.
Exactly. Traditional logical frameworks, strict true-false values, or even simple probabilities, they struggle in ambiguous contexts. It makes it hard for machines to adapt when the meaning isn't clear-cut.
So what's the alternative?
What Rachmad highlights, and what's key to Sophimatics, is the crucial need for machines to be able to reinterpret and update their knowledge structures.
Like, change their minds based on new info?
Precisely. Think of it like a detective investigating a case. When new evidence comes in, they don't just add it to a list on the wall. They might completely rethink their initial assumptions, right?
Revise their theories.
They revise their beliefs about who did what, maybe even change the categories they use to classify suspects or clues.
Yeah.
That's what Sophimatics wants AI to do. Constantly adapt its fundamental understanding based on new input, not just passively add more data points.
Okay, that's a powerful vision. Moving from data collection to actual understanding. So if traditional AI isn't quite cutting it, and it's even making us rethink knowledge itself, what kind of AI is Sophimatics actually trying to create? What does this new architecture look like in practice?
Well, it leads directly to this concept of a generative science. This was proposed by Vernon and Furlong, and it's really a cornerstone of Sophimatics.
Yeah.
But the groundwork was laid earlier. Aaron Sloman, way back in 1978, argued something similar.
Sloman, right. What was his take?
He argued that the proper task of AI isn't just, say, interpolating data points or providing solutions for very specific tasks. Instead, AI should aim to provide generative scientific explanations for intelligence itself.
Generative scientific explanations. Okay, can you break that down for us? What does that mean? Does it mean an AI wouldn't just give us an answer, but also explain how it got there?
Exactly. That's a huge part of it. A machine shouldn't just output, say, a medical diagnosis. It should, ideally, be able to explain why it arrived at that diagnosis.
The reasoning behind it.
Yes, in a way that truly builds trust and allows a human expert, like a doctor, to understand the why behind its recommendations, just like a human expert would explain their reasoning. A generative science provides entirely new concepts to construct completely new AI system architectures.
So it's not just building on existing models, it's creating new foundations.
That's the idea. Sophimatics, through this generative approach, enables the production of novel architectures and mechanisms, one specifically designed to address complex situations and behaviors, tackling both their technical and their philosophical dimensions at the same time.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge leap. So essentially, we're moving towards an AI that can not only process data, but genuinely reason and learn more, like we do, understanding the why. That's ambitious.
It is ambitious.
But to achieve this deeper, more adaptive AI, Sophimatics relies on a really important technical concept: ontologies. Why are these so crucial? What are they even?
Right, ontologies. Think of an ontology as a formal representation of knowledge, the concepts within a domain and the relationships between them. An AI's map of the world, basically.
Okay, a knowledge map.
Yeah. And the problem is, the real world is incredibly dynamic and messy. Fabian Gandin pointed this out back in 2002. Traditional AI often uses rigid, fixed categories, simple taxonomies to organize knowledge.
Like a fixed filing system.
Exactly. But in a constantly changing environment, maybe within a large organization where knowledge is distributed, constantly updated, maybe even conflicting, these fixed categories are simply insufficient. They can't keep up.
Right, I can see how that would be a problem. The map gets outdated fast. So what's Sophimatics' solution for this dynamic world?
The solution involves using dynamic ontologies within its AI architectures.
Dynamic, meaning they change.
Precisely. These dynamic ontologies are recalibrated, updated every time a change in context forces the system to perform a different interpretive analysis of the input. The knowledge map redraws itself as needed. This provides robustness for AI systems. It allows them to deal effectively with real-world situations where knowledge is often distributed and constantly evolving. And crucially, they're also essential for representing ethical and interpretive values right inside the system's framework. It's not just facts, but values too.
So it's not just about what the AI knows, but how it organizes and adapts that knowledge and includes ethical values right in that structure.
Exactly. Take cooperative information agents as an example. These are AI systems designed to work together, maybe share information, and learn from each other.
Okay.
Gandon argues they must rely on shared dynamic ontologies because their knowledge is self-organizing and context-dependent. They need to update their shared understanding, their shared map, to learn effectively in context and collaborate properly.
Makes sense. They need to be on the same updated page.
Right. So by combining these dynamic ontologies with ethical and interpretive reasoners, Sophimatics allows AI systems to learn dynamically in distributed contexts and make informed, collaborative, and hopefully more ethical decisions.
This all sounds incredibly complex, balancing deep philosophy, ethics, cutting-edge tech. It really points to the need for a whole new kind of expert, doesn't it? A different skill set.
It absolutely does. And Sophimatics explicitly envisions this.
What is it?
This new professional role is called a Sophimatic.
A Sophimatic. Okay. Yeah. What do they do?
They are envisioned as truly interdisciplinary experts, people skilled in logic, interpretation, ethics, and data science. A rare combination right now.
So different from a typical AI engineer.
Yes. While an engineer might focus, quite rightly, on optimizing algorithms for specific tasks or efficiency, the Sophimatic is there to tackle the really difficult design and problem-solving situations by bringing in these ethical, interpretive, and context-aware solutions, just as Vernon and Furlong described.
So for us listening, what would that look like in practice? How would a Sophimatic actually change how we develop AI day to day?
Well, it addresses that important question for the future of AI. How do we make sure philosophical insights truly influence AI design and aren't just, an ethics checklist tacked on at the end?
Right, making it integral, not an add-on.
Exactly. The Sophimatic embodies this interdisciplinary approach. They act as that crucial bridge. They're the ones who can, ideally, speak the language of both philosophical principles, human reason, ethics, interpretation, and the technical architectures behind AI systems.
The translator.
In a way, yes. Enabling philosophers and AI engineers to communicate much more effectively. The ultimate aim here is to allow a much more informed interaction between human interpretive criteria and the way AI systems are formalized.
Creating a framework for it.
Yes, creating an institutionally enabled framework for putting philosophical insight into practice, especially in complex, multi-valued contexts where there isn't one single right answer. Crucially, this figure helps guarantee that the development of future AI technologies is led with context and ethics deeply embedded from the start.
And drawing on all those thinkers we mentioned, Sloman, Rachmad, Vernon and Furlong, Gandon.
Exactly. Building on their insights.
This isn't just about building better tech, then. It sounds like it's about building more responsible, more human-aligned AI, guided by a completely new kind of expertise.
That's the core idea.
Okay, so today, we've taken quite a deep dive into Sophimatics. We've seen how it aims to address the limitations of current AI.
Especially its struggles with meaning and context.
Right, how it challenges our own understanding of knowledge.
Pushing us to think beyond classical definitions.
How it aims to build more intelligent and explanatory systems, ones that understand the why.
That generative aspect, yeah.
How it leverages dynamic ontologies for adaptive learning.
Essential for handling the real world's complexity.
And even how it envisions creating a new kind of AI professional, the Sophimatic, to guide this evolution.
The human bridge.
The human bridge, exactly. What's the big takeaway here?
Well, ultimately, Sophimatics suggests that for AI to truly achieve something like human-level cognition and to responsibly navigate our incredibly complex world, it needs more than just bigger data sets or faster processing power. Those are important, but not enough.
It needs something else.
It needs a deeper philosophical understanding woven into its very fabric, an understanding of what it means to interpret, to learn contextually, and perhaps eventually to truly know.
So a final thought for everyone listening. Next time you interact with an AI, whether it's asking a voice assistant a question or, seeing how a self-driving car handles an unexpected situation, you might just find yourself wondering, is it just processing symbols based on patterns it's seen? Or is it maybe just starting, to truly understand the why behind its actions, guided perhaps by this new bridge between philosophy and technology?
And maybe thinking about what new ethical questions pop up as AI gets closer to that kind of interpretive reason.
Exactly. What does that mean for us? Lots to think about.